right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live from the Kellyville Event Center, home of the Kellyville Ponies. You're watching KVrising, your exclusive home of the Kellyville Ponies. As we're about to introduce the starting lineups for the Ripley Lady Warriors and the Vian Lady Wolverines. Getting ready to get underway. Day two. Game one, day two. Excited to get started here. Feel free to comment where you're watching from. If you're watching from home, if you're watching from work, school, wherever you may be watching from. Happy to have you here. Happy to get it going. Have a good day. Good day. We're going to watch the court like this for just a little bit. We lost our filmer, so we're going to have a full court view until we can get a filmer up here for us. Ripley starts out with the ball. That's Collier. Over to Gobble. And then over to Howell. Back to Gobble. Now back over to Howell in the other corner. Back up to Gobble up top. She drives in. Her shot's just short. Rebounded by Howell. And she's fouled. She's fouled by number 22, Wright. Avery Wright. That's her first foul of the game. Howell's first free throw is good. And the second free throw just off the mark. Bounced around, though. Wright with the rebound. She hands to number 3. That's the Locust. Now number 2, Macy Smith has it. Gets the Collier with the takeaway. She comes in, goes out of bounds. Last touch by Locust. And that was number 10, Dakota Hall. Her shot was just off the mark. It was rebounded by Vian. Now Smith has it. She drives in, pass out to Locust. Locust with the shot. It's just off the mark. Rebounded by Howell for Ripley. She takes it down the court. Collier now. She drives in, just off the bottom of the backboard. Rebounded by Locust. Locust gets it over to Wright. Wright now driving down the lane. Only the stopper is Howell and Gobble. Howell goes down, and I believe that's going to be her first foul of the game. Collier with the rebound on that missed free throw attempt. Now has it up near the top of the key. Taken away by number 4, Rebel Simon. Simon has it now. She tries to pass it inside. She does get it inside eventually to Wright. And now Ripley. Gobble tries to pass it inside with Locust taking it away. And now Smith driving down the court, goes coast to coast, and she does it. She finishes it off. Vian's first points of the game.
I got a bag down there too.
Okay.
Hey, if you want me to talk, just give me some sound and I'll chime in every so often. So. Are we good? All right, Jacob. All right. Bright and early here on a Friday morning.
Collier goes up, shots blocked by Simon. She takes the ball away, gets to Smith. And Smith over to Locust, and her jump shot's just off the mark. Smith tries to save it, can't do it. That's Ripley ball.
Being told that Vian left school this morning about 7:30, so them girls had an early wake-up call this morning.
Ripley, good shot there, just short, away from the basket. And Wright tried to dribble it down to the lane. Couldn't keep a hold of it, went out of bounds. So now Ripley passes into Howell, and who gets it over to Gobble. Back to Hall. And now to Overton. She drives into the lane. And Howell's shot just off the mark. Rebounded by Smith for Vian. She drives in and gets the charge call.
That's a nice play right down there.
Kendall Overton, that was a very nice play.
Not afraid to take the hit.
So now Ripley ball. Gobble driving. Guarded by Smith. She passes to Overton. Back to Gobble. Back to Overton. She passes over to Hall. Back to Gobble over on the other wing. She takes a jumper, and it's good.
Now a little three-court pressure there by Ripley.
Wright passes inside, and Terrell saves the ball from going out of bounds. Ripley retains possession. Howell, nice move inside there. Kind of spinning around, trying to find an opening, and eventually does and gets the shot in. Riley guarded by Newsom. Inside to Smith. Smith with the lay-in.
Both teams get up and down the court really well. I mean, they're kind of running a fast-paced offense. Like to see that this early in the game.
Okay, if you're just now joining us, I apologize. We had it on an unlisted privacy, so we couldn't, the public couldn't see it, but now your full willing welcome. If you're just now joining us, welcome to KVrising. Current score is 7-4, Ripley ahead as Gobble drives in, couldn't get that shot in, but Howell tries to save it as it goes out of bounds, and it eventually ends up going off her hands, and now Vian has the ball. As Locust has it, she's trying to get up the court. She passes it to number 5, that's Gibbons. Gets it to Terrell, who gets it back to Gibbons, and now number 12, Neal, who gets it to 32. It's Richardson. Her shot's just off the mark. Now we got a jump ball down there between Gibbons and Howell. Richardson shot just off the mark, rebounded by Locust. She goes back up with it. She can't get it either.
Nice hustle there by Vian, keeping the play alive.
There's Richardson's shot. It's good. Good shot by Richardson in the corner there. She was open. She took the shot, and it paid off. And now Howell, shot no good. Couldn't see who he called that foul on.
Looks like number 24 would be her second.
24, that's Rayleigh Terrell, sorry.
She's going to have a seat on the bench.
Howell there, another nice play. She's pretty good about getting down there in the paint and not being afraid to step up and take the shot. And there's Gobble. And she goes down there in the paint as well and takes that shot on the somewhat fast break. And now Gibbons for Vian. Looking for a place to go with it. She gets it to 12. Neal as it's taken away by Hall. And Hall goes down for the lay-in.
Now we're going to have a timeout on the floor, it looks like. Vian coach wanting to talk about it before this game gets out of hand here. Vian's in that 2-1-2 zone defense there, and in order to defeat that, you need the passing, how to defeat a zone, getting the ball around, and Ripley seems to have done a great job getting the ball inside whenever they need to. Plus that little three-court press defense that Ripley's running is making Vian work extra hard on the offensive side.
So now Locust going to pass in the ball for Vian. She gets it to Gibbons. Now Gibbons looking for a place to go again. The press is still pretty hard. Still looking for a place to go.
And that's backcourt.
Man, I thought she jumped over it before.
Established position, I guess, is what he's calling it. I don't understand that backcourt call. They call it different, it seems to me like. But
well, Terry and I were talking about yesterday, we don't understand the travel call.
Well, there's no such thing as traveling anymore, hardly in basketball. NBA changed all that. I mean,
well, I just mean in high school, whenever you are like rolling around on the floor and they don't call it a call, but then you move your feet 2 inches off and you don't even pick up your pivot foot and they call it travel, that's when it's kind of.
It's kind of like holding in football. It's a very inconsistent call, but the NBA is to blame for that because they started all this, and it's just following down to the lower classes, I guess you could say. I mean, back in the Jerry West days and all that.
Just off the mark, rebounded by Locust. Well, I'm not going to mention names, but the NBA has changed that.
Absolutely.
And you can call the players out who you know have done it. Richardson, her shot's good from the lane. She was heavily guarded there, but still managed to pay it off.
You know, she had a nice game yesterday in their opener, working inside like that. So.
Vian trying that press. That was Smith. Tried to get that steal in, but ultimately got called for a foul.
Definitely a good quarter for Ripley there, up off to a 17-10 lead. So after one, 17-10, Ripley over Vian.
Well, after an eventful day yesterday, I'm excited to be back today, but I'm also not caught up on sleep. You know, I remember going to these tournaments in different schools when I was in high school, and I say that like it was a long time ago, but you know, I remember going to Ripley, and I remember going to Kiefer, and we would stay up there for we'd watch the game and then we watch another game because we always had the coaches scouting out the other players, seeing what they could do with their defense, how they should run their defensive scheme, their offensive scheme. I would get bored. I would get bored. I didn't have anything to do. So, it reminds me of when I was in school, what these players do in between their game and the other games. Now, the event center's a big place, and up top there's not a lot to be explored. And if I was them, I'd be hanging out in the locker room the entire time because that's the place to be. The only thing that's missing is a TV to watch the games in there. But yeah, if you have the chance tomorrow, you're off work, out of school, or you're just sitting at home, feel free to come by and check this place out. It's truly a nice place. I know we advertised it a lot yesterday, but it's still a very nice place. So back to the game here. Just got a jump ball call.
And I apologize for my camera skills. You just missed all that took place down there. I'm glad that I'll try to do better. I'm not a professional cameraman by any stretch of the means.
That was Russell for three, and it was just off the mark, just under the basket. Goes out of bounds.
Watching some of the broadcasts yesterday, Jacob, and we run about a 7-second delay is what we've got between live action and what actually comes out across the air. So if you're wondering if we are live, yes, we're live within 7 seconds. Watching some of the NFHS network, they've also got this streaming. They are about a minute and a half behind as far as time-wise, so our connections are all good right now, and we appreciate the school allowing us the opportunity to broadcast this tournament.
The whole tournament.
Absolutely.
Howell inside her jumper from the free throw line, just off the mark, rebounded by Locust for Vian. Called for a travel.
So they got to travel there, so goes back to what we was talking about a little bit earlier.
Collier passes in. That's deflected by Simon, and she gets it to 12. Neal for the shot. And then Howell goes and almost posts up against Richardson. I think Richardson was ready to take the call there.
Nice body control right there, not to get the charge. So kind of scooted around her a little bit.
Right shot is deflected before she can get out of her hands. Ripley takes it away, gets it to Gobble, and she goes down the court and gets the bucket.
You know, we're not keeping stats up here, but it seems like you're saying her name an awful lot. She's definitely the scoring threat for Ripley.
Both Brooklyns really are. I mean, you got Brooklyn Howell, and there we go again. Brooklyn Gobble once again.
Chance for the old-fashioned three-point play here.
But you know, both Brooklyns for Ripley. You have a Brooklyn Howell and you have Brooklyn Gobble, and 12 and 13, and they're both machines. So you got Howell as the rebounder and the big man down low, and then you got Gobble who's the scoring threat. So, and she does get that three-point play. So.
Boy, and that pressure defense of Ripley's is just playing havoc right now with the Vian offense.
There's Howell. And Bunch gets a rebound, put back.
That's going to be the 8th team foul of the half here. So kind of keep an eye on the foul situation here. Still early in the second quarter. A missed free throw or a missed shot don't allow Ripley to set up in that full court pressure as they get with a made bucket.
Collier on the defense there, rebounded by Richardson. Now Neal has it. She's driving in. Her shot just off the mark. Rebound goes out of bounds. Chased down by Sanchez for Ripley. Now Gobble bringing it up the floor. Good screen by Howell there. Goes the other way to get past Neal. Now Sanchez goes to pass to Collier. Now Collier gets it to Bunch. Bunch looks back to Sanchez, who gets it over to Gobble. Gobble drives inside. Her lay-in's good.
Very nice move right there. Well, you pointed out earlier, allows them to set up in that full court pressure defense once again.
Now Wright has no choice but to take the shot. She takes it, and it's good. Good shot just below the three-point line. Just inside the circle there. Inside, that's rebounded by Wright there. Now Neal's got Howell behind her. She passes to Locust. Shot was just off the mark from Neal. Now inside, Sanchez pass is too long. Too high, too long.
Back that full court. Oh, that's close to a carry right there. See what that defense is doing to him.
Now Wright has the ball. She takes it down.
Got the blocking call right there.
I believe that was on Bunch. Yep. Foul was on Bunch. Now Wright to the line to shoot. As Collier's going to come out.
They're going to say that was on the floor?
Is going to come in.
Oh, they say that foul was on the floor, so I thought it was a shooting foul.
Right shot's blocked, rebounded by Howell. She gets it to Gobble. Gobble drives inside. She passes it out to Varble. And now Locust with the rebound for Vian. Now Vian, Locust pass to Simon. Simon gets inside to Richardson. Shot ends up going off of Howell to go out of bounds.
Vian's trying to work everything right at the inside there. Possibly get Ripley in some foul issues, but so far only 4 fouls on the half, so.
Bunch has it now, and she gets it to Varble. Varble gets to Sanchez, back to Howell, and jump ball. Possession arrow points Vian.
Nice move there by one of the Brooklyns. Not sure which one. I don't have a roster right here in front of me, but she's going to the line to shoot 2. That never gets old right there when the air comes on. I love watching that thing roll across the.
And then you feel it, and it's like, oh my gosh, stop, it's cold. Once again, another ad for the event center. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's these big white pillars up on the roof, and they have little holes in them. They're hung up by cables, and basically they're connected to air vents, and so the air vent will push the air through, and these things will deflate, and then once the air comes through, they'll inflate and push all the air out towards you. And so it's how the event center stays so cool. And it is not necessarily so cool as in temperature, but pretty cool in general.
Just watching it unfold there.
But then when you're not expecting it, it makes that loud boom, and you kind of shakes you up there for a second.
Oh, so have 10 fouls here against Vian, so that throws Ripley into a double bonus. So which Brooklyn is that on the line there, Jacob?
That's Howell.
That's Howell.
That's Howell. Howell is 13, Gobble is 12.
So every foul against Vian from here until halftime will be 2 shots.
Her first shot's just off the mark. As Overton comes in for Sanchez. Howell's second shot just off the mark. Rebounded by Varble. And we got a jump ball pointing to Ripley. You know, I'm probably going to say this, and I'm probably right, and I'm probably wrong. You know, I don't know, but I feel like everybody's getting tired of us talking about the event center so much. But you know, if you're watching on live, you can't fathom what it's actually truly like. And so, if you go back to our first video on KVrising, we have a tour of this place, and just go check that out. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a great facility. second shot's just off the mark. Rebounded by Ford. Nope, sorry, Bunch. And she tries to bounce it off of Terrell's foot, but stays in bounds, even off the bounce. So now Locust pass into Simon. Simon gets it to Neal. And Neal gets it back to Locust, who bobbles it a little bit, gets it inside to Richardson. She's guarded by Howell. She posts up, goes up with it, and it's good. Richardson, good play there against Howell. She posted her up pretty well there. Now Gobble over to Bunch, and Bunch over to Hall. Hall way over, intercepted by Locust. Locust to Neal now. Neal goes and tries to post up against Overton. Ball eventually goes out of bounds. Overton falls to the ground. Ball is taken away by Gobble there. Eventually bounces the ball on the baseline, calling for an out of bounds. Inside, caller for a travel. That was Terrell. Now Overton passes into Gobble, and Ripley's going to set up shop here. She gets it to Hall over there in the corner. She passes it right back to Gobble, who's on the wing. And she takes a shot. It's just off the mark. It's rebounded. So Howell's going to come out of the game. Collier's going to sub in. And Neal threading the needle with that catch. She's blocked by Bunch.
Now we're going to the other end, shoot two again.
I believe that foul was on. See what the official call here.
Number 32 there,
32.
I believe. Or 22, what number is she? I got 22 on the scoreboard. 32.
I don't think they changed the scoreboard. I think it'd be 32 because it was Richardson down there.
If that's 3 on her, you got to keep an eye on that because she is the presence inside for Vian.
I don't think it's 3 on her. I don't think they changed the scoreboard to reflect what it was. The second free throw is good for Ripley. And now Simon trying to find somewhere to go with it. Can't get across half court. Neal tip from Collier. Collier goes down the lane, drives in. It's just off the mark. It's rebounded by Hall. Hall, her shot's over, misses. Collier gets the rebound and then fouls. 24 Terrell. 29-15. Ripley ahead. 41.7 seconds remaining in the half. Got to kick the ball. I believe that's the first one of the tournament, I think.
First kick ball.
First kick ball of the tournament. First kick ball call, at least.
Yeah.
Inside, that's Bunch, and her lay-in is good. Her little jumper is good. And now Simon looking for a place to go, guarded by Hall. She tries to find Neal, finds Neal, as Collier kind of relaxes on the press there. Neal's going to drive. Loses the handle just a little bit, gets it to Locust. Locust now, she's guarded by Gobble. And Locust drives in, her shot, she's fouled. Shot doesn't fall, but Locust, her shot, first free throw is good. And second one's good as well. Collier inside to Bunch. Bunch back out to Hall. And Hall with the shot in the quarter. We're in halftime now. 31-17, Ripley ahead. What you think?
I think it's a good start. Ripley is finally showing what Ripley's all about. We saw them down their own tournament and was very impressed with them. They kind of had an off game yesterday, but hey, it happens in high school basketball, and they're kind of making a showing this morning just like we expected to see the whole tournament here. So.
Well, yeah, and you know, Vian, I'm still pretty impressed with them. They had a rough loss yesterday, but you know, they're not out of it, I don't think.
Not out of it.
There's still 2 full quarters left, and they're definitely not out of it. So
14-point game here, so yeah, absolutely. So.
But we have a 10-minute break coming up, so we're going to go ahead and hop off here for a little bit. We'll see you back here in about 7 or 8 minutes.
Let's take all the breaks we can get. 8 games today, guys. 8 games.
All right, we're back. So we are ready for the second half of basketball here. We're back here ready for the second half of basketball. Ripley leading Vian right now 31-17. Happy to have you here with us this early in the morning. I know 10:45 usually isn't early. They're almost serving lunch at McDonald's, but we're already back underway. Now Ripley on the other end, so we got Gobble down there, and she passes out to Collier, and now Howell up top here. She gets it to Gobble, and she drives in. Her shot's just off the mark, gets her own rebound, goes back up with it. And now Howell is Terrell gets on the floor, another steal for Ripley, and Gobble gets that one to go, and that hard press from Ripley still going on as Wright dribbles down the lane. She's very close to the baseline. She's guarded by Bunch, and Bunch. Now she gets it to Locust, back to Wright. Wright gets it over to, looking for somewhere to go with it. Gets it to Simon by rolling it out. And now Simon gets it to Smith. Smith inside. Outside to Locust. Inside to Wright. Can't get a hold on it. Now Wright, she goes up with it. Thank you. She goes up with it. Gobble now. Good floater, just off the mark. Last touched by Howell. So it's going to be Vian ball. Smith gets it out to the Locust. Locust, her shot's just off the mark. Gets rebounded by Howell for Ripley. And now Vian's trying the press as Howell brings it down the floor. She gets it inside to Gobble, and she goes up with it eventually onto the floor as the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Vian. Pass inside, gets it to Hall. Hall inside to Howell. Howell goes up with it, and her shot's good. Again, nice play there by Ripley as they're doing that full court press again. Gets it to Locust. Locust still very close to the baseline. I'm not sure how she's staying in bounds when she's doing this, but she gets Smith. Smith loses the handle on it, and Gobble ends up taking it away. She gets it inside to Bunch. Bunch is posting up against Wright, and Wright. Eventually Bunch takes the shot, and it's good. 37, another steal. Becca Bunch there for, Michaela Bunch there for Ripley. So we have a timeout here. Ripley, good save there off the tip in from Vian as Bunch has the ball now. She looks over, gets it to Newsom. And that's going to stay Ripley ball. As Varble gets ready to pass it in, she passes to Howell. Howell drives in and gets to go. 41. 2 unanswered points that I haven't seen. 41-17. It's right. She goes up with it. Looks like a push. Turns over the ball to Ripley. First foul for each team has been made. 4:55 remaining in the third. 41-17. Ripley pass to Bunch. Now Gobble from the corner. Gets it. Mid-range jumper there. The CP3 shot, as I like to call it. Dangerous from the corner of that arc. Now Wright has Bunch Gardner. She passes it too far to the right there. So Wright goes too far right, and the pass attempt to Terrell. I hope you're enjoying the games more than you're enjoying my jokes. There's a reason why I'm a sports broadcaster, not a stand-up comedian. As Simon gets the rebound for that, she passes to Locust, and it's just ever so slightly too tough for Locust to handle, so Gobble passes. Varble passes into Gobble. And Gobble's looking for a place to go, guarded by Simon, now guarded by Smith as well. She gets it out to Newsom. Newsom looking for a place to go with it. And it's intercepted by Simon. Now Wright, guarded by Bunch, goes inside. Offensive foul called as Howell takes a hard hit to the gut. Very hard hit, so holding her stomach there as she's out of breath. Took the breath out of her. Now Varble passes into Gobble. Again, just ever so slightly off there. Gets him for 8 seconds. Hadn't crossed half court in 8 seconds. Gets him for the 8-second call. 43-17, Ripley. As Overton's going to sub in for Gobble. 3 minutes to go in the third. Pass inside to Howell, and she gets the simple floater to go. Now Russell passes in, tries to go inside. We got a foul call. As Varble's going to take the ball down the court, she passes to Hall. Now Hall looking for a place to go. She gets it back to Varble. Varble guarded by Richardson down low. She gets it way out to Overton up top. Now back to Hall. Hall tries to go pass inside with Bunch. Ends up getting it taken away by Simon. Simon now guarded by Hall and Varble. Now Smith driving it down. Howell with the takeaway gets it to Varble as she throws a Hail Mary, and it's just incomplete outside the end zone. Sorry, wrong sport. Smith passed to Locust now on the other end. She's guarded by Overton. She passes inside to Richardson, who's going to post up against Howell there. She does a great job that time. She was just unfortunate didn't get it. Smith and Varble got into a little rustle there with a jump ball call, as Locust is going to pass in now for Vian. She passes high up to Smith. Smith wants to take the three, guarded by Varble. She passes to Simon. Simon goes inside against Hall and gets the foul call. Took about 6 bounces off the rim there for Simon's first free throw. Eventually doesn't go in. Second one does fall though. Ripley ball, Overton passing into Varble. Varble, good screen there by Bunch. Passes into Howell. She's posting up against Richardson. That's payback from earlier for Richardson posting up against her. She does a great job there posting up against Richardson to get that point there to go. Now Smith looking for a place to go, gets inside to Richardson. Richardson's shot's just off the mark, rebounded by Locust. Locust saves it, goes into Smith. Smith with the shots just off the mark. That's rebounded by Howell. Now Varble taking it up the floor for the Lady Warriors. And with the steal, Russell goes down, takes it coast to coast there. 20-47 now. Looking for a place to go with it. Varble passes to Bunch. Bunch tries to pass inside to Howell. It ends up being taken away by Simon. Now Varble right behind Simon. She doesn't know where to go with it. Kind of gets her hand in there. Still stays Vian ball. Smith driving inside. She passes out to Simon. Her jumper's good from the corner. Now Bunch looking for a place to go with it. Gets it back up to Overton up top, over to Collier now. Collier gets it back to Overton, who gets it over to Hall. Now Hall to Collier. Collier with the CP3 jumper, and it's good. As the score, the buzzer goes off. End of the third quarter, 49-22. Ripley still ahead. Vian went on a little bit of a scoring streak there, and it kind of worked out for him. Down by 14 by halftime. Now down by just a little over 20. Still not out of it. Still not done. Feel free to stick around. Vian staying the home team next game, as Adair is also up next. Get back in underway here. Collier now for the Warriors. She drives in. Her shot's deflected. Now Newsom, pass inside to Howell. Howell goes up with it. It's defended very well. And now Wright. Richardson with the CP3 jumper. It's just off the mark. It's rebounded by Collier for Ripley as Collier comes in and gets the foul call. As that free throw. Both free throws are good there. Goes back up with it just off the mark. Howell with the rebound. And that is Sanchez. Her shot's just off the mark, but rebounded both times. Now she's going to take a three-pointer. It's just off the mark as well. Rebounded by Newsom. Now Collier, her jumper's good. Nice shot by Wright, just off the mark, rebounded by Sanchez. She's going to take it down the floor. It's knocked out of bounds. And that shot from Howell is good inside. 55-22. 6 minutes remaining in the game. Wright drives in. That ball's just taken away by Hall. Simon for the Warriors. Shot was up. Now Smith, guarded by Gobble. Gets it over to Locust, now to Wright. Wright guarded by Howell, ends up trying to take it away, a jump ball. Possession points to Vian. Ball taken away there by the other Simon for the Warriors. And given to Gobble, now inside to Howell. Howell with the slight mid jumper. Locust looking for a place to go. Drives in. tries to pass, gets it over to Gobble as she falls down. Smith with the rebound there. She drives it down the floor for the Lady Wolverines. Passes inside to Locust, and Locust is fouled on the shot. That foul's on 35, Sydney Newsom. And Wright for Vian has fouled out. Subbing in now for the Warriors. Varble coming back in for Howell. Now Gobble bringing it down the floor for the Warriors. Back out to Gobble. Fans calling for a walk. Smith. Now for the Wolverines. Trying to make something work. Going against Gobble. She gets it to Neal. Now Neal passed to Locust. Locust inside to Terrell, and she gets it back to Locust. Her shot's good. Inside to Newsom. Newsom guarded by Smith. Gets it out to Gobble. Gobble's jumper just off the mark. Rebounded by Smith. Now Smith got Varble behind her. Gets the takeaway and off of her. Goes out of bounds off Smith. Gets it over to Newsom. Newsom tries to pass inside. That's taken away by 15, saying she stepped out of bounds. 15, Callie Kennedy. Ripley has put in a whole new set of players, so I don't have their names as I normally would. Richardson dives on the ball, jump ball. Ball points to Ripley. Overfelt gets it inside to Simon. Simon back down below to Overfelt. playing against Richardson. And I believe that is Richardson's 5th foul of the game. And Overfelt's shot, first free throw just off the mark. Second one's good. .23, Vian, that was Russell. Her shot was just off the mark. It was rebounded by number 15, Kennedy. She gets it inside to Terrell. Second free throw is good. Call for a travel. Rebounded by Vian's number 1, Frazier. Frazier, she's going coast to coast. Blocked last second at the buzzer by number 25, Makata Ford. Final score, 58-29, Ripley. So the Warriors will play tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Next ball game, Ripley advances to play tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Ripley will play at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Vian will play tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
And Vian will play tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Well, want to say thank you for joining us for the first game of today. And here in just a minute, we will have Vian and Adair coming up here in about 15 minutes. So feel free to tune in to that one as well. We're going to go ahead and go off air this for right now, and then